The committee meeting, the Paramedic Services Committee. I would first of all ask if anyone has a declaration of pecuniary interest. They declare it now or at the appropriate time. Seeing none, we'll move on to action items. 2A, transfer from reserves. Michael?
Excuse me. Mr. Chairman, the report's been previously circulated and is requesting for the transfer of funding to pay for the new loading systems which are inside the ambulances now.
Okay, you see the report. There is a recommendation there that $30,000 be transferred from equipment purchases to non-TCA line, and that $22,500 be transferred from other capital reserves to expenditures line equipment defibs / stretchers, and that these transfers offset the costs of the power load stretcher implementation budgeted for 2017. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Mike, seconded by Ann. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. The next item, the ambulance service review.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The report's been previously circulated, and we have had a wonderful review which occurs every 3 years for ambulance services within Ontario. This is a substantial audit, including ride-outs, review of charts, and inspection of facilities and units. And to the credit of the staff, the superintendents, chiefs, and administrative staff, we did very well and improved our rating from our previous audit 3 years ago. So we're bringing this to the committee, Mr. Chair, for your information.
Thank you, Michael. I too want to commend the staff. They've done a tremendous job out in the field and also in preparation for this this audit and actually having the audit done, and great result. This is being received for information. I don't believe we need a motion. So we'll move on to call volume.
Mr. Chair, previously circulated this report gives an overview of the change in call volume between 2016 and 2017. Between the period of January 1 and June 30th, what's reflected here is approximately overall a 7% increase in call volumes for that period of time.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Mitch?
Looks like patient transfers are down, so obviously the work with the hospitals about non-emergency transfers is down, but the more emergent situations are up, and so is that going to be, like, is that going to be a trend going forward, do you think, Michael, that we're going to possibly be needing more staff as these call volumes go up?
Mr. Chair, in answer to the first question, I would anticipate that from my limited time here, that the call volumes will increase as we end up having more people visit and we have more and our population ages. Also, we've had a recent experience where we've been working with one of the hospitals to better coordinate some of the diagnostic tests that are patients have to be transferred to other facilities. So there are a couple of stress points which we're currently working on now regarding CAT scans in one of the areas. In answer to your question regarding upstaffing, I would only offer that as there is capacity within the system now, we're watching to see where there may be stresses such as no ambulances or such problems. I have no information to give you now regarding any potential further upstaffing. That would be necessary if council standards were to be maintained, and we did find call volumes increased to the point where we would need to demand that. But from what I understand, actions have been taken previously to stem that, and I have no information that causes concern at this time.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions? Yes, Janice?
Thank you. With the ambulance review, just out of curiosity, how long does it take for the ministry to perform that review?
Mr. Chair, I know it is a number of days. The whole piece, I believe, is weeks by the time the information is collected and data and analyzed. Mr. Chair, I cannot speak to how many days on
But it's
site
several
we are.
weeks?
All of them on
That's not
staff?
Okay.
I think
Kelly, sorry.
Kelly would like to respond.
Through you, Mr. Chair, the field work itself was, excuse me, was 1 week, and that was from Monday to Friday.
Okay.
The ministry staff really did an exceptional job with the debriefing, which was held on the Friday. They provided really an overview of the results and were quite complimentary. And then to Director McKeag's point, it was approximately a month before we got the final report. And the preparatory work was about 2 weeks, 2 months prior to the event.
Thanks. And how often does this review happen? Is it an annual or?
It's every 3 years.
Every 3 years, okay. Thank you.
I think I've touched on this question before, and you probably won't know the numbers, Michael, but a lot of publicity about drug overdose in the province and in different municipalities. We are likely seeing an increase in numbers as accounted from that, because of that. So that would equate to, I would think, larger increases until that situation is solved, if ever. So I don't know whether you have any information, but it's just something that we need to be aware of, that's going to increase likely. And there needs to be programs in place to help that.
Mr. Chair, in answer to your question, I don't have those numbers.
Okay. Is there anything else? That brings the meeting to a close. I need a motion to adjourn. Moved by Ann, seconded by Robert. All those in favor?